two black businesses. 2 weeks in a row I talk about the same business, so I give each business at least 2 weeks of advertisement, and again, as much advertisement as my little show can muster up. You feel me? So the first business I want to talk about is my boy Mr. Lewis, who has a website. I'm proud to present that because he has a lot of content and a lot of music and clothes and things that he's been presenting to the public. But I think this website is a great way to create like a landing strip for everything that he's doing. So he has a website called rebuildingtheculture.com. Rebuildingtheculture.com. If you go to rebuildingtheculture.com, you'll be able to find his latest album, Rebuilding the Culture Part 2, which is a hip hop project that he came out with, which is pretty dope. Also on the website, the brother has his clothing line, which is God Mode and Goddess Mode clothing, which is some dope clothing. He has sweaters, he has t-shirts, he has joggers, hats, different things like that. So, a really good brother, man. Mr. Lewis is out here doing his best to promote a positive message. Like I said on the last episode, being a rapper who chooses to speak about more of a conscious, chooses to speak on more of like a conscious frequency, you know, that does something to your career to a degree. Of course, you can still be popular. I think, of course, you can still make money. Of course, you can have a long career. But when we cut on the radio, we don't necessarily hear that kind of music. The music that we hear on the radio more or less pertains to partying or some type of drug use or just a fun vibe, opposed to actually giving you information you can use. You feel me? So I take my hat off to Mr. for, you know, trying his best to present music that represents the black culture in the best way possible. It has a positive message and, you know, speaks to family and speaks to empowerment and all the different things that we need to focus on in our community to make shit better, right? So I take my hat off to the brother Mr. Lewis. You can go to rebuildingtheculture.com. That's rebuildingtheculture.com. Check out his latest project. Check out all the clothes that he's doing. The brothers, I think he has some of the events and some of the things that he's been doing in the community. I think he has a little bit of that up there too. So please go to rebuildingtheculture.com. Check out my boy Mr. Lewis. He got a lot going on in the Sacramento area. You feel me? He is a local artist from the Sacramento area, but I think anyone in the country can relate to his music, can relate to his videos. The brother's a videographer, so he does his own videos, but he does videos for other people in the community. You know, he's figured out a way. He's figured out what he's wanted to do. And for a large part, he's doing this shit himself. You feel me? As far as producing the music, as far as shooting his videos, making his own clothes. He has his hand in a lot of those things. So I salute that brother. I support him. Please go out and check out the website, rebuildingtheculture.com. Now, the next business I want to talk about, a website that I learned about from my boy Zoe Williams. Zoe Williams is a radio host in the LA area. Been following him for years now. I would consider him one of my mentors as well. Just a really, really, really good brother. But on his show, he talks about black business and things like that as well. And he has talked about this particular company for years now, right? The company I'm talking about is Power in One Clothing. Power in One Clothing. That's POI clothing.com. The message behind the clothing line is empowering black folks, you know, saying that, you know, all you need is yourself. You know, the power in one person is necessary to change the world, basically. So Power in One Clothing, a lot of empowering black messages on their t-shirts. They don't just have t-shirts, but they have jewelry, they have hats, they have different clothing that you can buy. All of it has different empowering slogans on the clothing. Real dope shit too. So I recommend everybody go to Power in One Clothing. Check out the gear that they have today. Again, you know, we're going to continue to support black businesses and talk about them as much as possible. But fashion, when we talk about black businesses, fashion is something that black folks in particular take pride in, right? Like, we spend a lot of money with all these different fashion designers around the world, and I'm not knocking that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't spend your money. I'm not saying who you should spend your money with or who you should spend your money with at all, or who you should spend your money with at all. But it's important, if we're going to improve our standing in this country, family, it's important that we figure out different ways to support one another. And if we're gonna spend a lot of money on fashion and on clothes, it's well known that we care about how we look more than a lot of people, more than a lot of other races of people in this country. We take pride in our fashion, and we fly, and we got a lot of style, and we move the culture forward with what we decide to wear. Like, that's a fact. But at the end of the day, we need to put some of that same vigor into black clothing lines, the same way we do with Gucci or Louis or any of these other white folks who, for the most part, don't really give a fuck about our culture at all. So I think if you can find a way to support somebody black, and there's hundreds upon hundreds of black fashion designers in this country, you can just pick one to rock with, and the clothes and the gear is always fly, right? So I recommend going to Power in One Clothing. Power in One Clothing. Check out the clothing, check out the hats, the jewelry. Get something from the website. You feel me? Now, enough of the news stories. Enough of the black